Why is it that we make noise when it's a man that is the alleged perpetrator of gender-based violence in our country? No, guys, Nandi from Nandi and the Rev is a perpetrator of gender-based violence. Yes, Nandi from Nandi and the Rev is a perpetrator of gender-based violence. I'm saying it because I have said this to her behind the scenes, to say you are a perpetrator of gender-based violence. Gender-based violence does not only start when someone has been physically harmed or found dead somewhere in the street. The things you say, the emotional abuse you subject people under, it starts there. We have watched, we have seen content creation, in the name of content, how Nandi's children are being subjected to emotional turmoils, psychological abuse, the things they witness in their home. The behavior their mother subjects them to is a big no. We have seen from episode 1 till the latest episode where the husband is crying on a daily basis. If they're not throwing alcohol at him, they're throwing things at him, and of late they threw a kettle at him with his family. It's true what the Rev said. If he was the one doing all of this, chances are Nandi would have gone to the police station, opened the case, and Rev would be behind the bars in jail. Rev is not taking her to jail, not opening cases, because maybe he's thinking, oh, Mfazwam, I can't do that. But where are the women who are going to hold Nandi accountable? The fact that Nandi may come back and swear at me and say, hey, what, like she does when people are addressing her, she swears. For me, I'm okay with that. If swearing at me and calling me names or doing whatever will give her peaceful sleep, she must go ahead. But it shows us the underlying deeper root problem, that Nandi has a problem. There's no way that everybody can be wrong about you and you are always right. No. Nandi has a problem. If she wants to come and swear and respond in a vile manner, sharp, let her do it. But the reality is she needs psychological help. She needs to see a therapist. This I communicated with her behind the scenes to say, sis. And many of you will say, but if you communicated with her behind the scenes, why you bring it here? I'm bringing it here because her response to me was ... She was just telling me about Forever Living products. And number 2, we do not want a case where in the future we are saying RIP. God forbid any of those children decide to do something to harm themselves, because depression is real. The rate of suicide has gone up amongst teenagers. God forbid if anything happens to Urev and he decides to take his own life or do something to himself because he can't take or stomach the lifestyle or the livelihood he's being subjected to. God forbid Nandi herself decides to say, I'm taking my life, this is enough for me. Oh, God forbid. Nandi's actions are a cry for help. She needs help. That is why I'm saying, Mzansi magic, you would have failed Nandi, the Rev, and the children if you are not going to make sure that they get psychological intervention. Nandi needs help, guys. She's possibly dealing with traumas and demons from her childhood or from wherever that need to be addressed. And as a result, because they're not addressed, she's bleeding on everybody. Bleeding on her husband, bleeding on the children, bleeding on people who are commenting based on the things that we're seeing that she's putting her children and her husband through. Nandi and Rev, toxic. There is no way that you are expecting your eldest daughter to be the one to teach the younger kids how to raise other kids. No, she didn't sign to be born, and she wasn't born to be a parent. You guys are stealing her childhood from her, or you've possibly stolen her childhood from her, and she's going to grow up being one of those girls that never experienced the joys of being a normal child playing at her age, because all she knows is mothering her parents' children. So, gender-based violence activists, where are you? The same noise we make when a man is the alleged perpetrator, we need to make the same noise to say, justice for the children, justice for Reverend, #Nandi needs help, #Nandi and the Reverend need help. We cannot keep quiet and turn a blind eye. And again, if I get sworn at for making this post, it's okay, it's grand. This will just put a stamp on it to say Nandi needs help. Because her responses of being vile and spewing poison to people when they are raising their concerns just show us that there are deeper problems that need to be addressed. So Mzansi Magic, what are you doing to help this family since you decided to commission and approve their show? What are you doing to make sure that they get psychological intervention? Because there's no point in being famous. They pay you, the money gets finished, and then you are homeless, and then you are begging Peter to borrow Paul or to pay Paul or whatever the point is. But the point is, there's nothing great in being famous, but you're living a miserable life. BCCSA, what are you saying? Is this show going to come back for season 2? Oh no, if it does come back for season 2, can we see them going through therapy, going through interventions? Let's see a different change in them. Because indeed, we would have failed as gender-based violence activists if we keep quiet and turn a blind eye to the abuse that Nandi is subjecting the husband and the kids. And we would have failed if we're going to keep quiet and turn a blind eye in calling her out and saying, you need help, Nandi. You need help. You need to go and get yourself therapy. And since Mzansi Magic approved this, Mzansi Magic, you better come to the party and get these people help. Hashtag justice for Rev, justice for the kids. Hashtag Nandi needs help, Rev needs help, the children need help. That's what I need to say. Those with ears will hear. If I get blasted for it, great. But I would have played my part and said what's in my mind as a gender-based violence and femicide activist.
Okay, so Izola, I was just a bit too drained to talk about what was going on Nandi and the Rev. And one thing I will definitely do is take accountability and say, I'm being toxic for watching this show. And the reason why I am continuously watching it until the end, even though I don't want another season, is that I just want them to go their separate ways. I think this is going to benefit the family, despite the many kids that they have. But I just feel like both the Rev and Nandi being together is not yielding any sort of success or any sort of positive results. And all of us can agree, Uguti, I think uRev uyogcina athola umsebenzi wakhe back if they can see Uguti labantu are no longer together. But while I'm still here talking about the show, yesterday's episode really infuriated me because Nandi honestly has been such an antagonist the entire time this season. If she's not hitting ifamily yaga Rev, no Rev, ngegedlela namanzi ashisayo, a glass kettle at that, she's basically failing to acknowledge her daughter's feelings about this deputy parenting role. She's also not acknowledging Uguti. She had a very big role to play in the fact that they're in the situation because of the things that she says on these podcasts and everything else. And I wanted to take a deep dive into indaba yokuthi uNandi njengoba azulahlela ke igedlela lamanzi ashisayo. That is abusive behavior, guys. There's no way kunomuntu uzolahlela igedlela, and it seems like this might not even be the first time umuntu could unleash ulaga ngalendlela. It means ukuthi they also do it on a regular, and I guess the family is just so used to it. Second to that, indaba ye deputy parenting, I hate so much because why are you having kids for the sole purpose of them basically raising each other instead of you as a parent being able to do that? Your children didn't ask you to basically bear more children. And so in the same token, they were never, given any sort of responsibilities from birth. They basically on this earth to take care of each other. Kanti irole yabazali yini kahle kahle. And I think what pains me is that their daughter seemingly has a closer bond with Nandi and not necessarily her father. And yet it was her father who actually acknowledged, okay, Lalela, I didn't, respect your boundaries and so forth. I do apologize. I take accountability for that. As for Nandi, where is that accountability? Hey, guys, I don't know, hey. I don't know. I think, to be quite honest, to just prevent any more disasters and any more traumas caused, kule family lena, and before sizobona nje izinto ezinzima that are going to traumatize us as audiences, I think it's just best vele ukuthi bangasabuyi. If it means ukuthi writing to the BCCSA, let it be. But there's no way, I think, as audiences, we're okay with how things are going. Like, this is basically the same thing we are seeing even on Imoja Love with it's the same thing. Like, there's no need for us to see it. As much as, yes, you guys are saying it's a reality show, but to what extent? Because this reality that you're showing is also quite harmful to audiences, let alone the actual people that are in the reality show, which are the children, as well as the people who are suffering at the hands of Nandi. I sana, like, I mean, as in saying la, saying a heartful ngale nto engiyibhekile nje.
You know what, ne? As a nation, guys, we love reality shows, right? It's almost. But I'm saying, if they're going to make productions, right, where they're gonna show us content that's related to DGBV, right, I feel like it's only fair for them to be progressive. Because if I am gonna see Reverend Bamo Abuser, I need to see a scene where you're calling the police. I need to see a scene where there are consequences to these actions. You understand that? And that also applies for the shows that's about Sakela. These shows where we're just watching people getting treated badly. Firstly, they need to stop. But secondly, as you're seeing it happen, what are you doing about it? Part of the reason why abusers don't stop is because they don't tell them no. They don't tell them to stop. Abusers are surrounded by people that enable their behavior. Wang understand? Nandi natlarile. No, it was only production that was trying to obviously stop her from throwing the glass, stop her from doing this. But like, mama thing, papa thing, bamo level lazy. Rev Ranwa thing, even he needs to now bear the brunt of her anger. Le familia Rev Rani. And it's not like they provoked her, mind you. Oh, guys. So I get the eyebrows saka, and then I use this L'Oreal Infallible Concealer in the shade 338. Okay. You know, ne, one thing about me, ke bora haka speed. If I was filming a show, and then I was literally going to stop the whole production. Like, we can stop the production, and then let's take this person to jail. Well, understand that, like, I feel like there's no reason why the show needs to continue. Because, you know, when the show continues, it means that you are also complicit. Now you are feeding into the drama that's happening. Well, understand that? Like, on the one hand, you can clearly see that Reverend is depressed. Well, understand that? You can clearly see that and on the other hand, you can see that when it comes to Nandi, she's very abusive. So now, why are you still filming the show? Just let it go. And what makes me sad is that I'm always thinking about those kids, and I ask myself, like, in all of this chaos, where are they? And then now what makes it worse is the fact that they're still growing up. Now imagine going to school knowing that the rest of the school and their families can see how toxic your family is. Oh, guys. And then Giverikisa pencil from Rimmel London. It's the shade 004 Black Brown. I just use it just to color in some parts of one, especially more at the end where I don't have eyebrows. But I'm asking myself, when that chaos was happening in the house, why was I Vizama Pudish? Like, one thing about me, I truly believe in stopping something before it gets worse. So I understand that, like, I'm a very proactive person, not a reactive person. I feel like we could all see where the show is going. After each and every episode, we could see Horomo, but physical. Understand that? And it shouldn't get to that point. And then I use the LA Girl concealer, and this is the shade Chestnut, just for the top. Like, eyebrows work out well when you use a darker shade on top. Like, the way Reverend was crying in the car, guys. I made a mistake. But it's fine. And you know, things like this make me wonder, how long has this been going on, and what have these kids been exposed to? Because this is just like a couple of months of filming. I understand that, guys. Not stress and I get happy, because there shouldn't be a point in time where now on our TVs we are watching somebody bamo abuser. I know my lento. And then we must call it content. No ways. Like, I didn't like watching the Siatela show for this reason. And then now this show is working in the same footsteps. And you see, I fixed it. And one thing about Nandi Shem, as a mother, she's very self-centered. Imagine your daughter talking about how much pressure she has in the house, having to be a deputy parent, and then yana lebile amu lebilo botsangwana hai hore if yana se happy I lo bona plan. Then instead of fixing the situation, Nandi Arishi must delegate the work onto the younger kids. And I'm just like, that's literally passing down generational trauma. Yeah. And that's why I say, one thing about Reverend that you can't take away from him is that he loves his kids, guys. For the mere fact that he was able to apologize to his daughter. Love it. But yeah, guys, this is essentially what I do to my eyebrows. Nothing much. I laid them down ka sunlight and then That's my routine. But other than that, guys, this show, honestly, I'm not even going to entertain it anymore because it's absolute nonsense. We can't be seeing somebody bama abuser. Why? Every episode, I health into. It's not TV. Like, I get for them, it's about the views, but we're talking about somebody's life. We're talking about 7 children in the picture that have to endure that. It's not normal. And it shouldn't be normalized. And that's why I get the production company. Tanzavai stop and pay our film I normal. But anyway, guys, bye.
Hello Mzansi, welcome to Mgosi waseMzansi. So reality show ledlala laphana kuMzansi Magic lebitwa Nandi and the Rev. So bantu labaningi, they are really complaining about the behavior ya Nandi, saying ukuthi uhlukubeta lo babe, uhlukubeta lo Revo, wayahlala mshaya ngemabhodo, mshaya ngema agedla lanemani labilako. So people are just saying ukuthi lento bababukela laphana ayisiyo because siyabona ukuthi akubi nema consequences, so they're not doing anything to her. Abambophi, abambitela amaphoyisa, abamendi lutho nje beqhubekela ongempilo yakhe. And apparently kuthiwa bamkhute kakhulu bantu, and like she just doesn't wanna listen. Bangiqaka mina abantu abakholwa, kubangixaka abantu abasindiswe, bangiqaka abantu abathi bathi Jesu, ukuthi kungani baze baphele impilo letinjena. Bona ngazuthi ngibo nje labaningi bakhona, liningi labo nje ngibo laba phela timpilo leti awful, bahleba abantu, baqala abantu, banenhlitiyo letimbi. Ngibo labantu always labathi bona bathi uNkulunkulu basindisiwe banjani bafuna ukudenda bo Mr nabo Mrs Perfect, but banenqumbi yetinto labatendako leti ngasitinhle. So people are just saying ukuthi akaboshwe because if it was the guy enda loku kuye bekuthiwa njena gender based violence kufanele akaboshwe, uyahlukumeta, but because it's Nandi kuthulekile, oh no one says anything. Na inkosi yami lo mfundisi webantu utithulele. Please do comment what you think below down on the comment section. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. I'll see you in the next one. I'm signing out. Goodbye.